Hey team, it's Eric Parton here, and in this video I'm going to be discussing self and self-awareness. Really, the question is, what should we be focusing on? Let's begin. Elite self is a very important subject. This is where self-awareness comes in and we get to focus on, or really we need to focus on things that you enjoy or you're good at, while delegating, outsourcing, and eliminating the other areas that we don't enjoy. That's ultimately my goal for everybody in this program, and hopefully you enjoy working with advanced planning cases and building medical professional partnerships and growing your business. But more than that, I just want to help everyone focus on things they enjoy while delegating or eliminating or outsourcing the rest. So this really comes into figuring out, what do you enjoy? How well do you know yourself? I referenced Joe Burrow, one of the most amazing athletes in any sport, on what we need to think about is everything that Joe did to achieve his elite quarterback status. He was dedicated to becoming a better quarterback. I already talked about his diet and mind. His exercise program is incredible. The degree of thought and energy he puts into those areas. He's always thinking about what is the best way to maintain his elite quarterback status. What film am I studying this week? How long do I need to spend with the trainer? What time am I going to meet with my offensive line? Joe has focused and dedicated his whole life to being a quarterback. He's loved it. He's hated it. But this is what he is. He is an elite NFL quarterback. However, what's really interesting, you need to consider the sport he's in. If Joe was to play basketball or hockey or was a jockey, even if he was just as dedicated with his diet, his exercise, his discipline, his focus, etc., would he be nearly as good as if he was in football? The answer is no. He's not built that way. He's not built in a way to be a cyclist or a basketball player or a hockey player. Likewise, it's very similar with business. Now, it's easy to see it when you're talking about sports. If you're looking at someone who's 6'10", you're thinking, you're a better basketball player than a professional surfer. 6 feet is tall for a professional surfer, but 6'10" is really good for basketball. It's easy when you're looking at a sport, but it's much harder when you're thinking about business. So for that reason, self-awareness is even more important. What's important here is when you're thinking about the business that you're growing and what you're doing day to day, you need to realize we're all different. Within this game of business, you want to understand that you're different than me, and I'm different than you, and we are both different than other advisors. For example, for me, I really enjoy and have some decent experience now around course creation. So if you want to go head to head with me, building a course program and selling it, or helping a turning 65 client with Medicare, I might win. That's my game. However, if you're talking about building a good financial plan with dozens of planning pages and working for a fee, you're probably going to win. You'd probably beat me. I tried charging a fee for my financial planning, and to be quite honest, I was never that passionate about it. I realized that my passion was in education. Education to the client or to the advisor. Here's the key thing. What game are you playing? You must know who you are. If I make you play my game, you'll lose to me. So don't try. Don't try to play my game. Instead, make me play your game by staying in your lane. By me, I don't specifically mean Eric Parton. I mean in the marketplace. Don't let other advisors force you to play their game. Instead, focus on you playing your game by staying in your lane. That means don't try to become a jack of all trades, but become really good at what you're passionate about, and then leverage the entire model that we're talking about to find other people that are really good at what they're passionate about and what they're focused on. Allow them to stay in their lane and you stay in your lane. We help build synergistic relationships. It's the entire who, not how concept. You'll see this brought up over and over and over in this training. But it's really all starts with knowing, what do you want? So many businesses, financial advisors, and insurance agents are driven by ego. Again, this is not to discredit any advisors in our training by any means, but it's just an observation. I've seen many businesses that are tied to the ego, and the ego does not equal happiness. It's actually a terrible correlation. Money does not equal happiness. What I'm saying is, be really careful not to fall into seeing what other people have or are achieving and then thinking that will be satisfying and then pursue what they are doing. So it's one of those challenges in our community. You're going to see a lot of different people experiencing a lot of different things. They're sharing their results. They're showing their cases. They're sharing revenue they've earned with our partnerships. Be careful not to think, oh, that is cool. They're achieving success. I wish I had that. You need to make sure that whatever you have is appropriate to you. Don't just want because you want that money or you want that ego. You want to make sure that you want it because it's the game that you want to play and you're most fulfilled by. Let's talk about some of the most helpful tools that I've come across to help you understand who you are as a person. The DISC profile test seems to be the most popular. However, there are 3 other tests that use a different approach. Myers-Briggs type indicator, the Colby with a K index, and the Jordan-Peterson personality test. I have found all the tests incredibly insightful, and I spent a lot of time reflecting and thinking about how that impacts who I am and how I should be spending my time. Some advisors enjoy journaling. I talked about journaling earlier when I was talking about the monkey mind. But not only does journaling help with reflection, I think the process helps eliminate stress. Journaling leads to a great deal of interesting self-reflections and self-awareness. It's just taking time, whether you're working through something or whether you're just making notes of your decisions. It's creating the space to reflect on your decisions and your emotions. To be honest, I didn't think journaling was worth the time. However, I gave it a try. I used the Daily Gratitude Journal from the Productivity Store. It's amazing. I look forward to using this valuable tool every day. If you and your spouse or significant other will embark on the journaling habit together, the connection you achieve is indescribable. The next topic is a therapist. I think therapists, for some advisors, are super important. We don't realize through our day-to-day interactions how triggered we are from junk from the past. A lot of people, and I've been there at times, especially when I'm tired or stressed, we just walk around like completely triggered. Triggered by things that should not stress us anymore. We should no longer spend mental energy on that trigger. They're not helping contribute to better output. Then there are other techniques people have utilized in terms of bonus levels. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do. If you've already done a lot of these basic things, the bonus items are intermittent fasting, stretching, ice bath, exercise, breathing exercises, and spa treatments. I'm not going into much detail here in Module 1, but if somebody in the community has questions about the bonus items, we can go through some of those different things on a collaboration call. Until you have mastered the basic stress relieving techniques, I don't think the output of the bonus items is nearly as significant as the basics. You know the basic things that I'm going over here in this video. Let me pause a second and give you one of my easiest stress relievers. Take a moment and do 25 jumping jacks, or 25 push-ups, or run or walk to the mailbox. Just get your body moving. Try it. It's amazing how your cortisol level is reduced. Take 30 seconds and do 25 jumping jacks. Yes, team, let's do it right now. Unless you're driving, and you're at your desk, or you're at your house, stand up. Let's do it together. Let's take the 30 seconds and do 25 jumping jacks. You ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. How do you feel? Your heart rate should be elevated. You should be slightly out of breath. I'm sure you can tell. I'm breathing heavier. And your senses should be activated. If you were tired or stressed, do you now feel more energetic? So if this 30-second exercise technique helped or helps you in the future, please let us know by commenting in school. Add #JJ. See you on the next jump. I would like to tell you about a personal story about being triggered and the use of therapist. After 30 years of marriage and 3 wonderful children, unfortunately, we were just roommates raising children. I love fishing with my kids. When my youngest child was a senior in high school, my wife and I began the divorce process. It was a long, hard, bloody 4+ years. We spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on attorneys. My ex-wife told me she was going to ruin me. She was going to destroy the business. One afternoon, I was arrested for verbally assaulting my ex-wife. This was a complete fabrication. My ex-wife moved 3 hours away to Charlotte, North Carolina. Neither one of us lived in the marital home that she claimed we had a verbal confrontation. I spent 8 traumatizing hours in a holding cell. The sheriff took my mugshot and my fingerprints. Do you know how humiliating that is? I was treated like a criminal. Handcuffs are not for me. It was a long 8 hours. I was released on a $5,000 unsecured bond. My ex-wife came up with her next fabrication that I was stalking, and she was afraid for her life. I have not spoken to her in over 4 years and was certainly not stalking her. I emphatically moved on with my life. Be that as it may, I was arrested again for the second time and went through the same humiliating process again. However, this time the judge socked me with a $150,000 secured bond. This is absurd. I had to pay a bail bondsman $10,000 to get out of jail. This $10,000 is not refundable. It's just gone. To make a long story short, 13 months later, the false charges were dropped. Shortly after this, I had to go to the sheriff's office for a personal question. Simply standing in the lobby of the sheriff's office triggered me so bad that I had to leave. Just standing there brought up all the negative emotions and the trauma of being in that holding cell. Being triggered is real. If you've tried everything else to deal with something in your past, don't feel embarrassed if you try a therapist. We all have painful events in our past. I hope this personal story helps someone that is listening. Team, life is unbelievable now. I am very, very blessed. Joni has positively changed my life. I now look forward to every second of every day. If you're going through a tough time and just need someone to listen, message me in school and let's talk. We live in an instant gratification society. Everything for the most part is easy. Our communication with friends and family is easy with text messages. If we're hungry, we can microwave a meal and eat a hot meal in 5 minutes. If our house is dark, we simply flip a light switch. If we're cold or hot, we simply adjust the thermostat. If we need to go somewhere, most of us have 2 to 3 cars in the driveway that will take us anywhere. Modern technology has made our lives easier. This is a good thing until we try to apply ease to our business. Most businesses are not overnight successes. They take years of struggling and frustrations and a tremendous amount of work. Even when our business is successful, we still have days when we question our insanity. I'd like to make the following suggestion. We need to make ourselves comfortable with something that is not comfortable. Why? So when something in our personal or business life is uncomfortable, our subconscious mind has the ability to help us through the difficult situation. None of us like being uncomfortable. Try one or both of the following activities. While you're in the hot shower, make it cold for 30 seconds. Become comfortable with the uncomfortable water temperature. Second, on a sweatshirt temperature type day, say 50 or 60 degrees, go outside with a t-shirt for 5 minutes and again, learn to be comfortable in an uncomfortable temperature. Let me share with you one of my road bike stories. I left the office at 3:11 p.m. to ride the long way home. It's 57 miles with 5,700 feet of elevation change. It took me 4 hours and 24 minutes. This route takes you over the Blue Ridge Parkway. The climb is 11 miles up and 9 miles down. It was 80 degrees when I left, but at 7 p.m. as I crested the Blue Ridge Parkway, the temperature was 50 degrees. I did not have the proper attire to descend the 9 miles at 50 degrees. I had to be comfortable with the uncomfortable temperature. As I descended the hill, I yelled, "I'm alive! I am so thankful to be alive!" It was 15 minutes to descend the mountain, so being uncomfortable was a blessing. Going back to the sports analogy, it's like if you don't know in business how tall you are, how fast you run, your body structure, etc., you're going to end up in a position you shouldn't be in. For example, you're a big guy, but you're playing the role of a wide receiver in your business. Or you're tall and thin like me, and you're playing left tackle on the offensive line. You're gonna get crushed by people that are 300 pounds. It's not because you're bad at a sport. You're bad because you're in the wrong position or role. It's very difficult to see because the body is much more obvious than the mind. The mind, we must do more intentional studying and reflection. So tools like the DISC, understanding yourself, the value cards, the exercise, and things like journaling will help you know who you really are. If you're athletic, in your chosen activity, do something harder or longer. For example, if you're a runner, see if you can run an extra 5 miles on your next run. If you lift weights, see if you can bench press 20 more pounds. If you're not athletic, go for a 1-mile walk. Make sure to time yourself. 2 days later, go on the same walk and see if you can beat your first time. Okay, team, here's the challenge. Find out how much more you could push yourself. How much more your body will step up when it's challenged. Let the challenge begin. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.